equities markets opened the week on a positive note with gains across sectors. However, bullish momentum has started to fade as profit-taking in select tickers dragged the NGX All-Share Index lower as the week progressed. Investors are now turning their attention to the upcoming MPC meeting for a decision on interest rates. Gbeminiyi Shopeju, an investment analyst at Zedcrest Wealth, joins me now for a midweek market update. Thank you so much for your time today, Gbeminiyi. And let me get your take on the performance that we're seeing in the market this week. Do you think the bulls are losing steam?
Okay, good afternoon, Ken. Thank you for inviting me. So, I think what we're seeing this week is basically just so that the bulls are just beginning to kind of come back into the market, because coming from a period where like we're seeing consecutive bearish sentiments in the market, we're now seeing an opposite movement where we're then now seeing gains on these particular equities that were previously that they had previously taken profit on. And then we also need to realize that we're coming to a period where we're going to be seeing Q3 earnings results and also results from a lot of these banks that are yet to release. So that is altogether driving investor sentiment back into the NGX, which is then now why we are seeing this positive sentiment. And this sentiment has actually even maintained even as of close of market today. Market just closed, and we're seeing that the market still ended up closing on a positive note. So we're still going to see the sentiment. I don't think the bulls are losing steam just yet.
All right, but let's get into how the market has played out this quarter. Quite a lot when you look at some sectors here. Looking at the NGX Insurance Index in Q3 alone, up about 73%. Your take on if we will see that continue to the end of the year?
My take on what?
On if we'll see the insurance sector continue to grow into the fourth quarter.
Okay. So the insurance sector gain was mainly driven by the NERA Act, which I'm sure you already know about. That particular sector, I think we'll still be seeing some pockets of gains here and there, but it's more of a sector where like we see gains, then investors take profit, then gains are filter back into the market again. So we'll just be seeing here and there profits in that particular sector.
But your general
I don't think the NERA Act is enough to like drive the sector into like continuous. Yeah. But like we're just going to see that for now. So we're going to be seeing like profits and then people taking profits, and then we'll see more gains than people taking profits.
Yeah, but let me get your take on the third quarter performance of the market so far.
Okay. For Q3, we're seeing the market has actually been majorly positive. It's in the same Q3 that the ASI reached about 150,000 points. So the market has been showing like a positive momentum, not until like 2 weeks ago where the market kind of like took a downward trend, just where like we saw investors taking profits. So Q3 has been a really good time for the markets across sectors, not just particularly one sector, across different sectors. We're seeing gains across board. So Q3 has been a good time for the market, and I feel like when we see Q3 results come out, that would actually spur more investor sentiment into the markets, majorly in this consumer goods and industrial goods sector, where previously we were seeing negativities in terms of like negative shareholder equity and other negative sentiments there. But then we're now seeing inflation has come down and other factors that are bringing those companies back into profitability. So that will make it a good time for the consumer goods and the industrial goods sector. And also the telecom sector.
Just finally, as we wrap up the conversation, let me get your take on what the respite for the oil and gas sector. It's been the worst performer in the market so far year to date. Do you think we could see any positives coming down the line?
I think there are positives that are in talk for particularly all sectors. We've not really seen good sentiment in the oil and gas sector, like you said, for Q3. But I still believe that, when we see results, and then oil prices have typically been more on the downward trend. So that would kind of filter into these, upward trend, and that will filter into these oil and gas company results. And then we'll be seeing like boosting revenue and all of that. And then also we're seeing less production costs, fuel costs have gone down and other things. So we're going to be seeing that filter into this particular oil and gas industry, into oil and gas companies, and now filter into the sector at large. And then we'll see, an improvement in investor sentiment in a particular sector. So you're not wrong. Sentiment there has been quite weak, but I still believe that there is room for, for growth in that particular sector.
All right, there's definitely a lot to look into the market, but thank you so much for your time. Gbeminiyi Shopeju there, investment analyst at Zedcrest Wealth,